Good morning / afternoon, depending on wherever it is that you are watching Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Wednesday, October 9th. It's Denise Salcedo here with Chinedu, and we are here to talk about last night's episode of NXT. It's kind of weird doing a morning show here, Chinedu, but how are you, man? Good morning.
First of all, good morning. It's very weird doing a morning show. I feel oddly refreshed because I'm used, you're used to having that little bit of exhaustion where you push through it because you love what you do, man. But I woke up feeling refreshed like that, had some orange juice, feeling good, and ready to do the #1 NXT review show on the internet in the world. It's us, Din and Chin for the win.
Let's go. All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to start off with a little bit of a hot take, although I don't know if this is a hot take, but let's go for it either way. I'm going to put it out there. I thought that last night's NXT was better than their first show that they did on the CW the week prior. I thought week 2 knocked week 1 out of its socks. Now, am I too crazy saying that? Or Chinedu, how'd you feel about that?
Nah, man, it takes higher than fish grease, and I agree. It's the truth. It is the truth. It was a much better episode. I felt, I felt week 1 was good though, but like this one, like it was put together much better, laid out better, flow better, and like I felt like it was a much more exciting show overall though. So yeah, I have to agree.
That's true. It was a more exciting show. So usually when I'm watching like wrestling, right, I like record my reactions while I'm watching. There's nothing more disappointing than when I'm watching a show and I cut no videos because I'm like, I had no reactions to anything. And last night, I think I cut like 4 videos for NXT, and that's a pretty good number, honestly, in my opinion, because I don't like to just cut a video just for anything, right? Like you actually have to get some sort of reaction out of me. And last night's NXT show really had like a bunch of stuff had me going, what? This is happening? Like, I can't believe it, right? So I did think that last night had a lot more just things that I was more drawn to than the week before that. So I guess it's a good thing, right? Because if anything, you want to improve on the show. So I guess that's good. But let's go ahead and kick things off with some super chats here. We got Sheldon Jackson, woke up bright and early, says, y'all have a great show. I'll catch the replay. Oba had a great reign as NXT North American champion, but now I believe he has to be the first one to end Trick's second reign. Oh, that's kind of a huge statement to make. Where are you at on just this portion of it? Can you see Oba Femi right now being the one to dethrone Trick Williams?
To me, he seems like the only person that's like been booked enough to do it in terms of like having the record, the momentum, and the believability to like take out the champion. I was not happy seeing Oba lose the North American title last night. I know the crowd liked it and all that. The match was good. It's a good match. I think it's the first time I ever watched a Tony D'Angelo match like start to finish like that. I'll be honest with you. But it was good. But when I saw them announce him having the longest reign ever, that's when I knew it was over. Like, dang. So the record.
There were signs, right? There were signs.
Yeah, the signs coming. There, it's there.
So there were, here's the thing. Like, I know you and I talked about it, and last week we were very like, Oba Femi needs to win. Oba Femi needs to win. And for example, we got Jay Stone here who says they really had Tony D beat Oba. I'm mourning. Now, here's the thing. So going into this, I was thinking like, damn, I think what you said last week was on point, Chinedu, when we talked about how Tony D has been part of this new brand, this new NXT era now for a while, right? And we've seen a lot of people that have been there that same amount of time sort of move up this ladder, right? And I think for Tony D, it kind of felt weird because like he wasn't, becoming an NXT champion, right? Like all of those spots seem to be taken, but it was like, okay, well, where else are we going to go with Tony D? Now, in regards to Oba Femi, what I think people liked about him, because this is what I liked about him, was that he's a larger than life type of force, right? So like usually when we get these like really big, scary guys that can actually move, you want to see them dominate, right? You want to see them take the Gunther route. You want to see them be like a Gunther, like a Brock Lesnar, like those types of people, right? Like people that are terrifying and are on this hella reign that you're just like, who the hell's going to beat this person? Like really built this person up, right? And so I think that's what the people wanted from Oba Femi, but it did sort of feel like, okay, well, now Tony D doesn't really have any other place to sort of go from here, or else he's going to stay in the same spot forever. Now, with that being said, I also wanted Oba Femi to retain. And my reaction when Oba Femi lost, I was like, no. And I kind of knew it at some point. Like, we knew it just based off of like, oh, they're doing the whole Rocky storyline, whatever, right? So at some point, Rocky's going to have his happy ending and he's going to get his win. So I feel like that was kind of a dead giveaway of like Tony D is going to be defeating Oba Femi. And then on top of that, you mentioned he had the longest reign. It was like basically reassuring people like he's good, but we're going to move on to something else. And then the match itself. Here's the thing. I thought the match was spectacular. I thought it was so much better than anything I had anticipated for these two. I thought they really, really did a good job. Like even in those near falls, like moments where I thought Tony D was already going to win or Oba Femi was going to win. There was actually one point in the match. I think it was when Oba Femi had hit like a double drop kick on Tony D. And I thought like, oh my God, like this is over. And the second he got the two, that's when I realized, oh yeah, Tony D is definitely winning this match. If Oba Femi didn't get the win here, it's going to be Tony D. But with that being said, I thought the match was great. I loved how fired up Tony D'Angelo was. And after this match, I didn't hate the loss for Oba Femi as much, just given how good I thought Tony D looked in this match with Oba Femi. It personally gave me a little bit more hope for what I might be able to expect from a Tony D'Angelo reign.
I can agree. I'm still sad. I'm not gonna lie. Because I felt Tony D'Angelo as the character. I felt like he stuck between two eras of NXT, like we said earlier. Like, so it's like, where does he go? Like he doesn't like not the main roster yet either, because it's no room with him. I don't want him to go, saying I don't want him what happened to Cameron Grimes. I want to happen to him. Unfortunately, there was just no room at that time. Although people like this gimmick, everything was just over and there was nowhere to go. So the North American title felt like the right thing. It was a great match. That was probably my favorite Tony D match I have ever seen on NXT for real. So it was a great match. I love that when I look back at it, they built up a lot. It took a lot of creative, a lot of momentum to give him his first loss, which I think was a really good thing to show in defeat. It wasn't a fluke. It took a lot for Tony D to come back and make this happen. And now that he's out of it, I mean, now that I think about it, him being in the world title picture, I don't hate it. And honestly, he's more or less a heel still. He's kind of between them, I would say, but he's still a heel. And Trig needs formidable opponents in that main title picture. And like before, that was kind of his issue before. There wasn't anyone to really feud with. So now that he's available, let's bring him on up and let's see what happens.
I feel ya. All right, let's get we got Christopher Marino here who says the true Tuesday Night War, Denise AEW show versus Denise NXT show. What gets more views? I don't know. Usually the AEW show tends to be a little bit more popular, but it's weird because it obviously AEW was on a different night. It was on Tuesday and also a different time slot. So I don't know how that's gonna affect viewers. We all know kind of history has sort of told us that anytime anything changes, you don't see the same type of audience that you normally do. And then this NXT post show moved too, so it's like everything was all messed up this week. Chinedu, I'll be honest with you, I was not pleased with having to watch two shows at the exact same time. For the most part, I was able to make it work a little bit, but I'm not that young anymore, Chinedu. I used to be able to do this. I can't do that anymore, all right? Back in the day, I did that for the longest time when I used to host a show on F4W. I used to cover both NXT and AEW. And honestly, I got used to it. I really, really did. But then I got used to just watching one show, and it was great because I kind of felt like there was times where I would miss things on certain shows because obviously I can't pay attention 100% to each show if I'm giving half and half of my attention. So personally, I was just I don't want to ever do no Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Monday night, no nights wars, nothing.
No, I ain't mad at you, Denise. First of all, ain't none of us. I can recall, doing those all-nighters, doing multiple shows back to back. Can't do that no more, man. So something changed. Like inflation went up. All kinds of things have happened in the world that have affected our bodies. All kinds of stuff. Can't do that kind of stuff no more. And I do understand. And watching the fact that you did that and got used to it, I commend you on that though, because that's 4 hours of wrestling you're watching.
Yeah, but I would watch it in 2 hours. I would watch it simultaneously.
Oh my
I know, and take notes, which is crazy. But hey, that was
Denise,
my young days. That's when I was young and alive. We got Taylor Cannon here who says, good morning, folks. NXT was fun yesterday. It really was. Like, even after the show ended, I was like, damn, I feel like talking about NXT. Like, I had that feeling last night. We have Jay Stone here who says, time to build the NXT title picture around Trick, Oba, and Javon, with Wes and Paige being role players because the rest of the division is in the trenches. So let's talk about this NXT championship picture, because we had some interesting stuff here. So we kicked off the night with obviously the new champion, Trick Williams, doing his little celebration. However, that was cut short because he was interrupted by Wes Lee. And they kind of threw some shots at each other. I laughed when Trick Williams called Wes Lee, when he called him light skin, because I know that that's like, you know, I've been told that that's an insult for certain people. And so I thought that was pretty funny. And I liked that Wes Lee basically said that, that he was going to basically win the title and then ditch him and go to the main event, or go to the main event scene just like Carmelo Hayes did, whatever, right? So he kind of threw some shots at Trick Williams' former friendship with Carmelo Hayes. So after that, we got Jey Uso, who came out there and really just went out there for like a pop and a little cameo. And it was actually really cool to see Jey Uso and Trick Williams go out there and do their little stick. So they were both doing their catchphrases, the whoop that trick, yeet. And we just kept hearing that over and over in a loop here. But there's kind of a lot to get at. First of all, what did you think of the portion with Trick and Wes?
Well, firstly, I want to point out, love Trick Williams. Man, I'm actually wearing my Trick Willie vest. You know, he be wearing these vests on TV all the time. I'm wearing the vest. I got the vest. I don't have the Trick Williams body. That's why I got on the T-shirt. That's why, you know, I want the little viewers. You know what I'm saying? They're like, did you see Denise show? That man showed his body. Unsubscribe. I don't want that to happen to the channel. So I got on the T-shirt.
My eyes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Did he have the baby? What happened? I mean, you know,
hey, meaty men need love too, okay? Okay, Chinedu, meaty men need love, all right?
I appreciate that. But thank you very, very, very much. That's love. I appreciate it. I'm gonna put that on the T-shirt.
I'm all about, hold on. You know I'm all about the meat. Wait, you've never seen this before. Meat. For our audio listeners, I have a meat overlay. So this is used during my Raw watch along, Chinedu. Whenever I'm watching Raw and we have guys like Bronson Reed on the show, I will put the meat overlay so that we know we're watching meaty wrestlers, you know? Welcome to the world of the DWO.
Oh, I saw the meat.
You're like, what the hell is happening here?
Hey, I was like, did you make that up right now? I was like, damn.
No, I wish I was that quick.
Oh my God.
All right. So anyways, back to Jay Stone's comment here, which was he was asking about like this the new players, or the players in the NXT championship picture. But your thoughts on Wes Lee and Trick?
Yes, I thought it was very good. I'm happy to see Wes in the main event picture. That's where I want him as a heel anyway. I do want that mic work to get better. I do. It has for Wes, yeah, it has to get better to me though, because although he could have a manager, I still feel he's able to cut these promos himself, and I just feel I need more believability. I love the light. Listen, the light skin comment that threw me up. I was like, "Well, you said that on TV? What?" You know, because you know, like in the community, you know, he pretty much called him soft, more or less. You know, what a light skin, you know what I mean? More or less soft, you know what I mean? You know, you ain't
right,
tough, you know, pretty much.
I have heard that. So I know very little about this, Chinedu. You can explain it a lot more, but I had heard that, you know, basically it was like, oh, if you get called light skinned, it's kind of like an insult. That I don't know, something about Drake. I don't know. Yeah. Something about Drake. I'm just picking up pieces here and there of what people tell me, and so I can be educated here.
Hey man, shout out to Righteous Reg, man. I think he's one of the.
No, he's the one who told me. I should probably ask him. Fill me in here, bro. Fill me in here.
But definitely yes, man. This has been a great episode already. You know? I'm sorry, this is amazing. But yes, it was very good. I love the exchange. I don't really recall a Trick Williams Wes Lee match. So I believe this would be the first time they would ever encounter in the ring. So If I'm not mistaken, I'm all for first time matchups.
Yeah.
I really like that because I'm trying to remember. I could be wrong. If
I'm
wrong, Chad, I apologize. But I was all for it. I love that segment, but I think I enjoyed Trick and Jay a little bit more. I love that chant because I felt like that was such good crowd work. They're so over. It just shows how over they both are. I love that.
No, it was funny because really in the grand scheme of things, it was really pointless, right? Like the Jay was so Trick Williams thing, like there really wasn't anything. But regardless, I had the best time with it. I'm like, it had no impact really on the storytelling, at least that I know of. I doubt they're going to do Jey Uso versus Trick Williams. So I'm going to say it had no impact on the storytelling or anything like that. But it was cool though. Like just seeing them both like go out there and do their thing, 2 catchphrases that are over. And they just look like they were having fun doing the little dance. I was on board. And again, it wasn't anything that truly impacted the show, but it was fun. So I did have a good time with that. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, okay, in terms of options here, they did announce next week, we're going to have a triple threat match. It's Ethan Page, Javon Evans, and Wes Lee. So we're going to be having a triple threat next week to determine the new number 1 contender to face Trick Williams. Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, Wes Lee, I think can have a phenomenal match with Trick Williams, but I'm definitely not expecting him to win the NXT championship. Ethan Page, been there, done that, so I don't think it's going to be him. Javon Evans, way too young, not going to be him right now. So I feel like Wes Lee has to win this, and I want to see him have a good match with Trick Williams, but obviously not go as far as to defeat Trick Williams. Like, I don't want that.
Denise, they need to put you on payroll NXT because that's exactly how it needs to play out. That's exactly what needs to happen with this program. Just like that, NXT, do it just like that, and it will be great. First of all, with Jey Uso, you were right. We ain't never going to see Jey Uso NXT ever again. I think he was at Raw. He's like, he can make real quick. He's like, all right, cool, no problem. And then because they're both so over, I also felt like just in case the Wes Lee promo didn't go well, because Wes, Sean's like, I don't know if he's going to do good on the microphone. Just in case it goes bad, man, bring out Jay, get the crowd back. Just in case. I think that was like just in case because Wes
didn't even have like an official ending because I just feel like they were talking Wes and Trick, right? Like they were having a conversation, and then all of a sudden Trick said something, and then we hear yeet. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, so we just completely forgot about Wes Lee. It was like, oh yeah, like his part of the conversation's done, and we're gonna move on to this great thing. That's kind of how it felt.
It did. It almost felt like he had a seat, like he just talked and sat down in a seat right there and watched the rest of the show with him. Like, what happened to Wes? What happened to him? What happened? He let him come down and attack them after the yeet thing or nothing? Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess he's ordering food. He sat on down.
So yeah, for a good match, I'm here for that. For a good match with somebody that the people care about, great. Trick Williams versus Wes Lee, I'm on board. But other than that, I want to continue seeing Trick Williams like in, big storytelling. For example, with Oba, that would be really freaking cool. Now, maybe it might be too soon to go with Oba, but at least you can make your way there. I don't know. I don't know what it would look like to have Oba Femi as NXT champion, but I don't mind finding out. All right, we got Christopher Marino here who says, remember, this is developmental and Oba losing part of, let's see how this deal with diversity. Remember, this is developmental and Oba losing part of let's see how this new people deal with diversity. And I feel like NXT is the show where we do see a lot more diversity. Like, I know that's been a huge topic in the last, few days, or actually even more before the last few days, but it's just skyrocketed in the last few days. But no, NXT has been more on the pulse of showing diversity for both the men and for the women.
Oh, yeah.
We got Luis Arturo Mendez who says, nothing like eating lunch while watching Denise and Chin doing the NXT post-show review. Hell yeah, man. Enjoy your lunch. Hope you're having a good one. Absolutely. Good lunch could either make or break your day, Chinedu. If you have a bad lunch, you're just going to be like, I want to go home. If you have a good lunch, it gives you that extra boost to, continue on with the day.
It really does. A big old boost. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Huge boost. Definitely indeed, though. Shout out to Louis for that super chat, man. You are the best. Much love, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and continue on from here, and let's see what else we got. So I want to go ahead and jump into, let's get into the women's stuff here with Jade, Bianca, Kelani, and Fatal Influence. Now, this was another part of the show that they kind of just did to get Bianca and Jade on the show, right? But it was really, really cool to see them teaming up with Kelani. And they ended up doing a really fine job. Like, I thought Jade looked completely fired up. I think because this venue, it was a lot smaller, so it felt a lot more intimate. I could tell that Jade was like really feeding off of the energy from the NXT crowd, kind of a little bit more different than the main roster shows. Like, she's got good energy on the main roster shows, but I feel like on this particular show, she was freaking pumped. Like, I noticed that like little extra boost in her spirits there. And no, they did really great. Kelani got the win for her team, and they basically just beat up on it. Fatal Influence. Like, Fatal Influence was just there to like, you know, do the job, right? But no, this was very, very entertaining, and I thought they did a really good job. It almost made me want to say, damn, move up Kelani and let's do this, you know, let's add another girl group over on freaking Raw and SmackDown to go up Damage Control, PFC, all those other people. They were cool to look at.
I wholeheartedly agree. No, I wholeheartedly agree. I felt like Jade was like, she was having a great time on there. Like, it really looks like a great time though, because the crowd decided to see her, and you could tell she was like a lot more hype. Like, she had, like, for real, she had like a whole lot more pep in her step or whatever. And she's always great though, but I mean, it's like she was really genuinely happy to be there and to show off for that crowd and really put on a great show. It made me look at Fatal Attraction like, man, they really got them looking like Bulk and Skull out here this episode. They really like they were the Job Squad for the
that's really what they were, which is fine because let's be real, like they haven't been built enough to go up and compete against a team like Bianca and Jade. So yeah, Bianca and Jade are going to come in there and like look amazing, and Kelani is going to be there to like get the rub.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anything, too, I thought in the back of my mind, I was like, see, this is what's going to turn Naomi heel right here. This right here. Seeing this big three together right here. All them holding gold, people talking about their tag titles, because I thought Naomi was part of the big three. They had a tag match, and she was in a group chat at the WrestleMania. They was like, what happened to the group chat? They was like, oh, we shut that down. Sorry about that. I thought we were going to the tag title Freebird rule. No? Okay, well. And I think, but I do think a heel turn may be coming from Naomi, though. I do think it might come, but that's a whole nother show, whole nother situation, though. But match with Kelani was amazing. It made me feel that way about Kelani too. Wherever it's like seeing them together, seeing them shine. I was like, I can't wait to see her on the main roster. I think she's gonna be a great addition. I know I talked about that heel turn that I thought was coming. I know I feel that, even though I still reserve the fact that Kelani would be a great heel, because she's so nice that, you know, there's so much stuff she has pent up. She's always wanted to say, but I love seeing this version right now. I know that this was only like, I know this ended tonight, but just maybe going forward, I would love to see them reunite again. This is amazing.
No, I think this helped Kelani because here's the thing, like, I feel like there are certain girls on NXT that kind of already feel like stars, right? Because they have like such a huge fan base, or like the fans are constantly talking about them, like Roxanne, Cora Jade. Like, those are girls that I feel are constantly being talked about on NXT. Now, even though Kelani is like going out there and she is doing all the moves, she's having the great matches, she still hasn't connected with the fans, I think, in that way where she has like started to build up like her own really big fan base. And I feel like having associations with Bianca and Jade and moments like this are going to help build up her star power on NXT so that she can start building more of this fan base and we can get to know Kelani a little bit more, because on the show, what we know about Kelani is she's young, she's a champion, and she's good. But personality-wise, like, what do we know about Kelani? We still don't know that much yet. And so I feel like that's the part that needs to develop a little bit more to connect with the fans so that she can have a little bit more of a bigger fan base and she can feel like a bigger star on the show, because she's got the skills. Now it's just a matter of like building up that, that presence.
You know, that's a very good point, too, because we really don't know that much about her as the character. Even off screen, I think, like, in real life, too, we don't know that much about her. I mean, like, I think people kind of know that she was dating, I think, Carmelo Hayes, I think, or they're dating, I think.
She still is, yeah.
Yeah. Like people barely know that. And I think that's a little bit there. And because you don't really do interviews, I think, matter of fact, I think she has a recent interview with you, right? I think so.
Yes, and we spoke about her dating Carmelo Hayes. It was actually really cute. She said, because I asked her, like, how did that start happening? And she said that, and this is adorable, she said she was obviously making the rounds, because if you don't know, I'm sure everybody here knows this at this point, but you have to go in and shake everybody's hand. It's just like the thing you do in pro wrestling is you shake everybody's hand. And so she was making the rounds. around shaking people's hands, and she gets to Carmelo Hayes. They shake hands, they lock eyes, woo! And he ends up asking her out like on a date, and then things went from there. So that's how she said that it happened. And I'm like, that's so cute. Like, I love that. Like, you meet someone, sparks fly, and next thing you know, you're on a date, and next thing you know, you're in a relationship. That's great.
That really is great, man. You guys should check out that interview after this stream ends. If you guys were here in the morning, man, go check out that interview with Denise Salcedo and Kelani, because she doesn't do that many interviews already, guys. So it's going to be a great interview, a great watch. Give it a click too. You know, it's really, really great. You know, so I'm getting off topic.
A lot of people want to see them interact with Bianca and with Jade too. Like, this is something Taylor Cannon pointed out. So yeah, I feel the exact same way. All right, so let's go ahead and press on from here, and let's get into the other women's segment that we had. And this one was really fun. Like, this is our main event stuff for the women. All right, guys. And this was probably my favorite thing from the show. Aside from the Tony D Oba Femi match, this felt big time. So what you had here was Roxanne Perez go out there. She cuts a promo, and she basically ha-has in the fans' faces, because her whole gripe has been, stop talking about the people on the internet, because I'm the one here. I'm the one doing the work. So forget about all these other people. She refers to them as flavors of the month, which I'm like, I get it. She's out there. She's the one defending the title. And so she's laughing in everybody's face because she defeated Julia. And then she brings out the person who obviously helped her, which is Cora Jade. And Cora Jade says that basically her whole gripe was that she was upset that when we were all, like, the fans were all talking about who was great and who was the best, and her name was constantly left out of these conversations when it came to the women's division. And so Cora Jade did not like being forgotten. And so that's why we're seeing this alliance here with Roxanne and Cora. They seem to be anti these new girls that are coming in and building their name in other places and generating buzz for themselves in other places. And so they go out there, they do their shtick, and Julia comes out. She doesn't say anything, and she brings out, she had said she was going to bring out an old friend, and that old friend was Stephanie Vaquer. So she brings her out, and they have this like really cool moment on the stage. Chinedu, they look really badass. They walk in there, they throw hands there with Roxanne and Cora. You see all four ladies go at it, and afterwards, once they've mellowed out and they're separated, we see both Julia and Stephanie pick up the NXT championship and basically insinuate that, hey, both of us are interested in becoming NXT Women's Champions. So, this was really good. I just loved that the women's division right now on NXT, especially the main title division, feels hot, because you got the whole element between, you swear Roxanne and Cora are going to remain friends forever. Hell no. Cora's going to want a piece of that title. You already know Julia and Steph are coming for it. So I feel like already with all these four girls, there are so many matches that we can see potentially happening. Like, this is like a whole, I don't know, feels like a whole year's worth of content that you can get alone with these four girls.
I agree. And for me, what I love about it at the core of it is that it all makes sense. It all makes athletic sense. Like, Cora came back from being gone for, we felt like, almost 2 years. So the entire landscape of her division is different. So instead of coming in and being on my own against all those other girls, let me get with somebody I at least know. I at least know Roxanne. We may not be the best friend, but I know her. Let's get together. We work together and like take out these girls, because they seem as competition too. And I love that mindset. It makes so much sense. That, like, to me, like, it's a competition. There can only be one. Well, of course, it doesn't in North America, though. But I mean, there's only be one at the top, though. So it's that feud and that fight. And I love Julia and Stephanie coming out together. That I was hyped. I was like, she's here. I ain't gonna lie. She's like, right, that's like, okay, I like this. They win the ring, clear house. I love that visual of both of them evenly grabbing the belt. Evenly grabbed. Yes. Was it Tonga Loa or Tama Tonga that grabbed that was holding the tag title belt all weird one time on SmackDown? He's held it so weird one time. But I know this kind of random. It's like an episode
it wasn't last week though, right?
No. This was like,
oh, okay. No, I don't remember.
Randomly, but like they held it evenly. So it was a really good visual indicating that we both want it. We're gonna take you out. And I also like the mindset too that eventually it's gonna have to be Julia versus Stephanie over that belt. I like that too. So because what I like all about all of this too is that although it's 2 versus 2, eventually for this belt, it's gonna have to come down to every woman for herself. And I really love that. Like you said, it could be tag matches, fatal 4-way eliminations, it could be, lots of things though. But it was a great way to like kind of refresh and reset the women's title picture scene, and I'm all for it.
No, I feel really good about what we're seeing right now with this division, in particular, this title picture. Like, this feels interesting. We have so many parties involved that, like, I feel for the most part, if you see any one of these women as champion, I don't think anyone's going to be bothered by it because you know that they're all really good in their own ways. So I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what they do here. Like, I want to see Roxanne and Cora do her thing. I want to see Roxanne versus Steph, Roxanne versus Julia. I want to see Cora versus Julia, Cora versus Steph, Julia versus Steph. Like, all four of them. So, like, what I'm saying is, like, you can really just, like, move them around however you essentially want and make up all of these matches here. And I'm pretty sure the first thing we're going to see is a tag team match, obviously, with Roxanne, Cora versus Julia and Steph. I feel like that's going to be the first thing we get and then move on from there. So, no, this feels really, really good. I'm looking forward to it. We got Bailey here who suggests a fatal four-way at Halloween Havoc would be great. I wonder if they'll get to it that fast, only because Roxanne and Cora are looking like they're friends for now. And then same thing with Steph and Julia. They're friends for now, mainly because they seem to share a common enemy. So it's kind of like by default, you're my friend because I don't like these people. So it works out. Alrighty. And speaking of the women, another return that we had was Nikita Lyons. Nikita Lyons is back. Nikita Lyons has been out 2 separate times due to injury. I think both of them were ACLs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, both of them, I remember correctly, were torn ACLs, which is really rough, man. Really rough. Like, I can't. That's just rough, man. Going back to back torn ACLs is just insane. But anyways, Nikita Lyons, she's back. She's somebody that had a lot of buzz too on NXT, but I feel like she had a lot of buzz mainly when I feel NXT was really pushing the sex appeal. If you were like, they still push it, but not as much as they were pushing it really early on at the start of the NXT 2.0 era. Like, you remember that, Chinedu? Like, they would really push it.
I vividly remember early 2.0 era. That was the paint and vomit era where the logo was just flat everywhere, kind of stuff. And they were like Nikita Lyons. Listen, Nikita Lyons was like her thing was, although she's a formidable athlete in that ring, she's thicker than cold peanut butter. All right, she's thicker than 5 o'clock traffic. That was the thing, guys. That was a whole part of it too. And like you said, they've toned that down. Although, they push all the people who are good looking, athlete, large in life, whatever, but they have toned it down some. So I do want to see how she fits in. Her and Lola Vice, both of them having fighter backgrounds. I'm interested to see how that goes out, how that plays out. Although I am concerned, like you said, with her with the ACL injuries, considering what her moveset was, it was very much like, like striker base and things like that, though. So a part of me is hoping she kind of changes style a little bit, just kind of, so she can remain healthy, more maybe like a brawler style, maybe not like a Nia Jax per se, but more so, we use just the power instead of the striking a little bit to kind of make sure we don't get injured, though. But I'm excited to see her, happy to see her back. I do want to see what plays out, though, because again, the thickness was one of the gimmicks, though. If you follow her on Instagram, really cool. She's a talented person. She does music, all that kind of things, whatever, though. But like her comment section, y'all. One day, y'all, go read her comment section, y'all. It is the third.
I've never gone into her comment section, but I can imagine.
She follows my friend Choco. Shout out to my guy Choco. So like, she's a fan of his videos, though. She told me that, they'll like, hang out or whatever. And like, he said one day he was just watching one of her videos, or her MMA videos, and then one of her other videos, one of her pictures popped up. Well, one of the sexier pictures, but it's her page. It's her page post when she want to post. So then he said he read the comments. He was like, bro, it's like dudes offering rent money, like offering their cars. These are all like literally just all kind of the thirstiest of thirst in her comment sections. And he said it was hilarious. I know that's random, y'all, but if you're ever bored one day and want to read thirst comments, go to her page. Go to her page and check it out one day and see.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go through and be like, "Oh, this guy's offering 2,500. Hey, DM, hello."
For real, man, because they just raised the rent again. I was like, how much more?
Seriously, right? Come on board.
But
no, but seriously though, I feel like Nikita Lyons, like, here's the thing, like, I feel like I've been sort of thinking about like the mental struggle, right? Because I know, like, as athletes, it's not just the physical struggle, but it's also the mental struggle. And I think about it this way, because right now it's getting really crowded. Like, who are we talking about? We're talking about Julia, we're talking about Steph, we're talking about Cora and Roxanne, right? Then you got all these other girls that have also been killing it. You got Lola, you got Jada, you got Lash Legend, you got a bunch of other people, right? you're coming in to a division where it's already hot and you're coming in with, these injuries that could kind of mess with you, where it's like you feel like you're already behind because you missed all this time. But then on top of that, you have these additional hurdles to get over. So I feel like mentally it could be tough. But now, so for her, so I just see it as a way of like, okay, get the program started, get things going, because it's tough, man. You got to climb, you got to fight for your spot. I mean, God, we haven't even mentioned Kelani Jordan, so Ruka. I mean, there are so many girls right now that are doing their very best and are climbing up those ladders. Like, you really have to fight for your spot. So I can imagine that Nikita Lyons, I don't know if she might or might not feel that way, but I would imagine she would, where it's like, hey, you're coming into a stacked division and you got to make sure you find some place where you belong on this division, where you're getting your TV time, where you're getting some focus, some light, because it's tough, man.
It's the truth. She's been gone over a year too. She's been gone a long time as well. And so although she's still very young and things like that, but for athletes in this position, in this time, you feel like you're in your prime right now. That's how most athletes always feel. I'm in my prime right now. I'm ready to go right now. And so sometimes when you're not getting that TV time, when you say you're on the shelf, you said there are those mental hurdles you have to go through. You feel like you may be forgotten all that though. So like you said, I'm interested to see how this plays out though, because again, it's so many women on the NXT roster that could literally be in the main event picture right now. There's so much talent though. So I wish her the best though, but we are going to see how this plays out indeed.
All right, we got two more things to get into. I don't even have much to say about this, Chinedu. This was the opportunity that I used to like pay attention to the opposing show, and it was the Sexyy Red performance that was cut abruptly by Ethan Page. It was funny because I was like, "Oh, Sexyy Red is on. I can turn this other direction and watch AEW, right?" And then I saw Ethan Page come out, and I was like, "Oh, Ethan Page is out here. What?" So that was kind of like my little moment. I kind of tuned out during the Sexyy Red performance. But Chinedu, what did you think of what went down there?
Hey, I'm happy for Sexyy Red, the person. Hey, making a
pause
good list.
1 second. Sorry, I need to mention this. Larice Johnson, thank you so much. And don't forget, Delta is coming. That's right. We were talking about that last week. So talk about a stacked women's division.
Yes. And I mean, oh my God, yes. And I'm trying to think about it too. And Nikita, man, it's so many women. And you think about it too. So do you think that, I mean, maybe some of them turn heel, that might make it a little bit more balanced. Like we have a lot of, do you think there are a lot of like faces?
You got Roxanne as a heel, you got Cora as a heel, you got Fatal Influence, all heels. I'm trying to think who else is a heel for the women. Yeah, that's kind of about it that I can think of right now, at least for the very, very top of the girls. But yeah, I almost forgot that I was going to throw that in there. Ender Buckley, by the way, in regards to Sexyy Red, says people were thanking Ethan online. It was funny because Ethan Page is supposed to be a heel, but he did a babyface thing for the fans.
Yes. Because he did. Because look, y'all, I'm a big hip hop fan, and I'm happy for Sexyy Red, the person, making a good living and all that kind of stuff, whatever, though. But I'm not a big fan of the music, and for me, and I'm not a fan of musical performances at wrestling shows anyway, because I didn't come for a musical performance. I came for a wrestling show, so I don't even when Kid Rock came, even when Flo Rida came, all people came. I was more so just then I'm like this, just
Yeah, like whatever. For me, look, there were some that I liked, but there was like three. Like for me, I loved like when Motorhead, for example, would do Triple H's live entrance, or when you had like Saliva, like those types of groups. I was like on board because I love their songs, right? But like everything else, I was like, oh, this is not for me. I'm not interested because I'm not like a big fan, So if I really like, for example, if it's like the group that comes in and sings like a popular song that is like a theme song or like a really, really popular song that the fans love, then I'm on board for it. But again, I'm not really into musical performances either in pro wrestling.
Yeah, and again, and I feel like her fan base, although she's very popular, I know she's from St. Louis as well, but I felt like her fan base wasn't at that show to me also, because it's like
no, but I don't even know who her fan base is.
Like it's like she
following? Are they watching NXT? Like Chinedu, for example, because this is how I learned of Sexyy Red. It was so weird. It was like 1 second she like didn't exist, and the next thing you know, she existed, right? I first heard of Sexyy Red because she was hanging out with like all of these big celebrities. Like she was twerking with Lana Del Rey, and I love Lana. And she was hanging out with, I forgot who else, right? And she was being posted on Pop Crave. That's how I saw it. And I'm like, oh, who's this girl that's like hanging out with everybody? Whatever, right? I didn't pay too much attention to it. And then all of a sudden I found out that she was going to be on WWE TV. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, she's going to be on WWE TV and she was twerking with Lana Del Rey. I was like, that's so random. Like, what? How are you getting involved in these totally different worlds, right? And so that was all I knew. But then when she came out on WWE TV, that's when I started to like hear more about her, and people were like, oh, did you see this music video that she did with the championship, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I learned more about Sexyy Red. And I went on her timeline, on her Instagram page, and I kind of got an idea for what kind of artist she might be.
Yeah, it was just awkward to me, because it's like, if you have her there, I understand, because if I'm not mistaken, she's a wrestling fan, which I think is always great to bring celebrities that know the product, that know the stars, that enjoy the show, because they'll feel more natural. But use her maybe like in a segment for comedy, something like that. Don't perform. It was so awkward because no one came for a musical performance at all, whatever. And I remember seeing it with Shawn Michaels. I know Shawn Michaels don't know who this is. Like, oh man, I'm so happy Lisa Fox is back. It's not Lisa Fox. Sexyy Red's not even her. Like, you don't even know who it is. You don't know who it is. So it's the whole thing to me. I felt it shouldn't have been on the show. No offense to Sexyy Red. And again, the fact that like it was so awkward and out of place that it got Ethan Page cheered. That's how weird it was.
And he's the heel. He's the heel.
Like, guys, they're like, thank you, Ethan. I was like, thank you, Ethan. Like, bro, please, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah. All right. And last but not least, we got one more match to talk about. And this was the big match that I think a lot of people were really looking forward to. And this was Randy Orton versus Javon Evans. And I think the reason people were looking forward to it was because, damn, talk about some lucky stars for Javon Evans. Like, bro came in here, has been here for like a minute, but because he is such a high flyer, and I feel like he gets more height than like anyone I've ever seen when he's in the air, and he can do cool things, makes it look really freaking easy. All of a sudden, dude has been in, he's competed for the NXT championship, like 2 times already? For sure once, because he was in the Fatal 4-Way. I'm trying to remember if there was another time, if it was a contenders match. Regardless, he's at least competed for it once. And then on top of that, he's going to face Randy Orton in St. Louis on NXT in the main event, second week in the CW. I mean, it doesn't get like, talk about like his fairy godmother came in and bippity boppity booed, like made the whole thing happen, bro. Like the dream here. And so Javon Evans has this match, and again, very random, but hey, it happened. And people were really excited about it. I was more so curious to see like, what is this going to look like, right? And I know the thing everybody was most excited for was to see that RKO. Everyone wanted to see Javon Evans fly from the skies and get the RKO from Randy Orton. I don't know what happened. Maybe all of our expectations were riding on this too much. The match was fine. It was enjoyable. It was fine. It wasn't anything like, to me, it wasn't the best match of the night. It wasn't even, to me, the best match of the last 2 weeks. But regardless, it was fine. It was there. It happened. But I was waiting for the RKO. I don't know what happened. I really think that because everybody was so excited, maybe we jinxed the RKO. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we jinxed it.
I think so too, but when I saw it, I was like, that was shit. Dang. I was like, that went to shit. It was, of course, very impressive, though, because I couldn't do the moves at all. The fact that he was able to do that and get that air, but I know it didn't connect, you know, the quote unquote, the shit sandwich of what kind of happens, though. But I still felt, again, overall, the match was great. I really hate that spot to go out, though, because Javon, because I don't know him though, but you could tell he was like, dang, man, dang it.
Well, that's what everybody was waiting for.
Yeah, everyone was waiting for that too. And you know he knew that too. And so, but I felt like the way it was too, I don't know if it was maybe if he went too far or if Orton wasn't far out enough or whatever though. But regardless though, I'm happy. Orton is who he is now, and he's not Orton from 2011, and he didn't yell out stupid and block his push.
Javon Evans would be out the door. Javon Evans would be gone. He'd be done.
Listen, via Mr. Kennedy. All right, be out of there. Done. Okay, but this time around, Orton being the veteran, he knew it didn't go as planned, so he picked him up, hit an RKO. Javon, I felt it was really good. He went on the fly to the RKO, knew what was going on, knew the move didn't hit well, so I felt that was good on both their parts. Quick thinking, hit the RKO real quick, boom, and 1, 2, 3, we're done. But still big him up in the end because it was still a good match, good showing for Javon. It showed that he he will be a big player, I felt, in this company soon. He's one of them people, too, that you can really take your time with Javon Evans. The main roster is so stacked. NXT is so stacked. You can truly take your time and have him develop to be a great superstar, which I think is a really, really good thing. And once again, just super happy for Javon. Great match. And I felt like in our current era now, fans are more forgiving of botches. I don't say botches, but when things don't connect as well, I feel people are more forgiving, especially on NXT, because it is developmental still. So,
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully we do get to see that perfect RKO someday with Javon Evans and Randy Orton. But yeah, I'm telling you, we jinxed it, Chinedu. Like, we were all excited for this. Like, everybody was like, oh, can't wait to see that RKO. Can't wait to see that RKO.
I definitely did. I was like, man, it's going to be better than Evan Bourne's. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that at all, man. When I said that, I was like, because the Evan Bourne was crisp. That one was still to this day.
Evan Bourne was like, not on my watch.
The banana pill in there now,
Yeah, ain't gonna happen. Oh my god, that's so funny. But anyways, yes, congratulations to Javon Evans, because like I said, holy damn, talk about a really great opportunity to have. And now more people know who Javon Evans is. All right, we got the dead man of RWT, Paul Morales, in the house. He says, just jumped on, and whoa, we got a morning show, and it ain't even Saturday. We need more of these, girl. Thank you. I really, truly, Chinedu, I told you this off air. I was like, I have no idea what this viewership's going to look like on a Wednesday morning. No idea, because I don't usually do morning shows. Like, I'm on at night all the time. So I want to thank everybody who came through. Seriously, I was really worried that no one was going to tune in. I was like, this is going to be me and Chinedu talking to the air. That's terrifying. Yeah, this is a FaceTime. Exactly. So thank you to everybody who tuned in and everybody who watched on the replay. And Paul, I would definitely consider that, because I've been wanting to do more, more stuff during the day as well. So I'll figure something out at some point. But thank you so much, Paul, for the super chat. All right, guys. So there you go. That was our NXT morning post show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The next show that we got is Friday for the SmackDown post show. I'll be on with Robin, and then Saturday I will be on with Righteous Reg to do the Wrestle Dream post show and the watch along. Excuse me. So watch along and post show. So we'll be streaming here for several hours. So it'll be a good time. So if you guys want to come out, hang out for that, that'll be great. And other than that, Chinedu and I are back next week at our normal time slot, which is immediately following NXT Tuesday night. So we will be back to our normal time slot. Chinedu, what do you got going on?
Man, currently working on the final day to my tour. My tour will be called Are You My Age Mates? That will be my new tour kicking off. I'm so happy I got to wrap life in Houston with a great tour, successful tour. But I'm back on the road. New dates will be happening. I believe I will be in the Woodlands November 9th. I think that's when we kick off the tour, though. So my dates will be up probably by the end of this week. Other than that, watch all my videos on my platforms. I have videos every single day. Subscribe to the I'm subscribed to YouTube as well. But mainly also check out Denise's videos. They're up every day. She got 4 videos from NXT. That means she got one from every quarter. That's amazing. That's a lot of work, a lot of time. Okay, cause those replays. Watch the interviews. She's one with Kelani Jordan. That's up right now. Again, Kelani Jordan does not do a lot of interviews. She really does not. So watch the interviews, watch the videos. Don't be a dick. Give it a click. Support. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.